welcome, everybody, mi gente. We are continuing our Hispanic Heritage Month celebration. Welcome to the Sci-Fi Queens podcast, where we celebrate all things sci-fi. If you're new to our channel, we welcome you and we ask that you hit that subscribe and notification bell because it will help our channel grow. We really would appreciate it, and it'll let you know when our episodes are coming up. If you want to support our channel, check out our website. It's scrolling at the bottom of the page, sci-fi-queens.net. You'll find information on the queens, our shows, and you will also find a link to our merch store. Okay. And let's see, tonight we have the Queen of Darkness with us. How are you doing, Sarah?
I'm good. How are you, Nita?
I'm doing very well. Very, very well. I'm having a good day, having a good week. I'm excited for today. Tiffany is on her way. As you know, she is on island time. She will be fashionably late, making her grand entrance for us all. But we are going to continue to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month. We have been talking about the contribution in science fiction, in all platforms of science fiction, writing, comics, books, and TV, movies. It's there, and we're gonna just learn it all about it, and even in the sciences, okay, which is Sarah's domain. Um, Absolutely. But Sarah, what has
Yes.
been, before we begin, what has been your favorite part of this journey, which I appreciate you and Tiffany doing this with me and becoming Latinas for a month. What has been your favorite journey? And what's your favorite part of what you've learned, what you experienced this month celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month?
I really liked the interview with W.O. Torres. I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed talking to him, and I look forward to reading his stuff. And it was just like that's the one thing that sticks out is I know that's like just a person, but I mean I always pick scientists that I'm interested to find out about what they're doing and what they're how they're helping the world. But I really
Yes.
liked him as a creator.
Yes, I'm looking forward to reading his book as well. And I'm excited for that. And of course, the fashionably late supermodel queen of the nerds, Tiffany. How
Hello, and
you
my lovely
doing, girl?
assistant.
And lovely sister, little
I'm
queen.
good. It's been a day, and it's Friday. Thank goodness.
TGIF.
It has been a day for you, girl. So we were talking about Sarah and I about celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month and what was her favorite part of what we've learned and the journey that we've taken. So I pose the same question to you, Queen of the Nerds. It doesn't get better than that.
I know. I love seeing, like, of course, we know the representation is there sometimes, but I love that we can highlight it and bring it up and really like push it to the front, because like
Yes.
a lot of times people don't even associate, like they'll look at a character and like, oh, wait, is that character not Caucasian? Like, no,
Hmm.
that that
Well,
that
a lot of people
that
just
stuff.
assume that.
Right,
Yeah.
right, right, right.
Because I
Very
don't
much
think they
so.
realize that we come in all colors.
Oh, yes, yes. And I
That's
found
the
that
thing
out
about
too.
being, yes, that's the thing about being Latino is that I have cousins that look like Sarah. I have cousins that
Mhm.
look like Tiffany and some that look like me. We are all
Mhm.
blood related in the same family line, and from the same family side. And
Yep.
but we all come in
Mhm.
different shades, right? Um, and if that's colonization for you, right? That's in
Right.
our DNA,
I was gonna
whether
say,
we
Yep.
look it or not. Whether we look at it or not, we have European blood, we have African blood, we have native
Yep.
Taino blood. It is there. um and
hmm
it may not seem like it to some, but it's there regardless to what we look like on the
Yep.
outside. So a lot of times these actors are playing all sorts of parts and contributing but don't get the credit as Latino actors
Mm-hmm.
because they don't look like the standard or the
Yeah.
stereotype of what it would
Can
be,
can I
right?
share a fact? Can I share a fact that I learned
Oh
this month that
yeah,
is really it's
yes.
Hispanic heritage, but it's hilarious. Okay, so in the Mexican American War, um, the Americans had Irish come over and like they would get citizenship if they fought for America, but then they get down
Hmm.
to Texas and Mexico to fight, and they're like, hey, these people are kind of like us. They like to drink, they like have big families, like, and they change
Yes,
sides. So there is
they
actually,
did. It's so true.
they did, and so there's
They
a large population of gingers in Mexico, and I was like, oh, well, that makes sense because the Irish trains, because they're like, this is dumb. We're like, it's like we're fighting ourselves. We're gonna go
did.
party with them, and
Yeah,
I just thought, that we don't learn about that in school. Like, why didn't we learn about that?
yeah.
That's an interesting thing. Like,
Hmm.
because it doesn't look good on
Yep.
America, I guess. But still, I just thought
No,
that was
it
kind of
sure
neat.
doesn't.
But it falls into what you were talking
Hmm.
about, that Latinos can look like anybody,
That's
right?
right. Yeah. I mean, I have a cousin. She passed away now. She's an older cousin. He was my mom's first cousin, who was redhead, pale, white, lighter skinned than Sarah,
Mhm.
with the greenest eyes. Born and
Yeah,
raised in Puerto Rico, don't speak English to her because she don't know English.
yeah.
And but then I have cousins that were very dark and very African looking, and the textured hair, the beautiful skin, the features.
Mm-hmm.
It, but they're all blood related from the same
Right.
family line. That's what's
Right.
funny, you know. They were all my mother's side of the family, so they were all from the same family line.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that is the beauty and the complexity of it, because it shows that unity in cultures and that
Mm-hmm.
influence that all these different culture has had in
Mm-hmm.
Latino culture,
Mm-hmm.
but we are going to get
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
into it. Sarah has two amazing scientists she's going to talk about. She's going to educate us on. And I'm telling you, I'm excited to learn more about these scientists because this is going to be fantastic. We're going to do that first one, Sarah, and we're going to all talk about her for a little while and ask questions and just have this awesome discussion about her. So take it away, Sarah.
Okay, I'm sorry if he's barking. I don't know what he's barking at, but okay. So this is Nicole Hernandez ha Hammer, I guess Hammer, born in 1975, whose accomplishments have not only contributed specifically to the field of environmental science, but have also paved the way for a more inclusive and equitable approach to climate action. Nicole's journey to becoming an influential environmental scientist began with a diverse upbringing. Born in Guatemala to a Guatemalan mother and a Cuban father, she moved to the United States as a child. Her bicultural background would later play a significant role in her career as she became an advocate for the sorry, sorry, environmental justice of minority and marginalized communities. Give me
He's
just a
very
second.
excited about Hispanic Heritage Month. I'm just saying. He wants to be a part of the conversation,
Yeah, he
guys.
does.
We're just going to have
And
to love on him.
I think there's somebody in the hall. Okay. Nicole's educational background is impressive. She earned a Bachelor of Science in Biology from the University of Miami and later pursued a PhD in marine biology at Florida Atlantic University. Her academic endeavors laid the foundation for her work in understanding the impacts of climate change on coastal communities. Nicole's work with Climate Central, an organization dedicated to communicating climate science to the public, has been pivotal. She has focused on research related to sea level rise, hurricanes, and other climate related threats. Her findings have been instrumental in informing communities, particularly those vulnerable to climate change, about the potential risks they face. I'm going to scroll down. Nicole's passion for equity and justice has driven her to work tirelessly for the rights of minority and low income communities who are disproportionately affected by environmental challenges. She has been a strong advocate advocate for integrated environmental justice principles and climate adaptation policies. Her research has helped communities prepare for the impacts of climate change. She has provided valuable insights into creating climate resilient infrastructure and policies that can safeguard coastal areas and reduce the risk associated with rising sea levels. Hamer's contributions to environmental science have not gone unnoticed. She has received numerous awards and accolades, including being named a White House Champion of Change for Climate Equity in 2014 and a Heinz Award recipient in 2019. Hamer's work serves as an inspiration to budding environmental scientists and advocates. Her dedication to the environment, coupled with her commitment to social justice, has transformed the way we approach climate change mitigation and adaptation. As we face increasing environmental challenges, the inclusive and community centered approach exemplified by Nicole is more critical than ever. Her tireless efforts to bridge the gap between science and society, as well as her determination to make environmental solutions equitable, promise a brighter, more sustainable future for us all. In summary, Hammer's accomplishments as an environmental scientist are not just a testament to her expertise, but also to her unwavering dedication to creating a more resilient and just world for future generations. Her work stands as a beacon of hope in the fight against climate change and a reminder of the positive impact one individual can have on the world. Apparently, he agrees.
Yes, he does. He's very passionate about this. But this is really beautiful that, she's doing research on climate control and
Mhm.
and climate science, but how it
Yes.
affects low
Well,
income
and
people.
so because a lot of what I got while I was doing the research is that she likes to research how like rising sea levels are going to impact coastal communities because
Hmm.
you know poorer people don't have the opportunity to move. You
Yeah.
No,
know,
they
they can't move up inland, or they may be stuck in, and as these things change, there may not be anywhere for them to go. So that's what she's researching. And like islands like
Mhm.
Puerto Rico, what
Yeah.
what happens if the water levels rise? If the ocean level rises, they're going to lose land. So it's very important.
I think her research is
Yeah.
phenomenal and important. And we don't really often think about it, and me included, not until you started reading,
Yes.
how climate affects low income people differently.
Hmm.
And it
Mm-hmm.
really does,
Yeah.
Well,
because like Sarah
Yeah.
says, there's no money to move, no place to go. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of these people
well,
have
like
been there for years, and they literally can't go anywhere and are stuck
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
environmental disasters happen, and it's serious.
mhm.
And the work she's doing will help not just Latinos everywhere, but anyone who's low
Yeah,
income, who's
marginalized communities
affected.
anywhere. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
Mhm.
I agree.
Yeah.
Very
What are
interesting.
your thoughts on this, the Queen of the Nerds, Tiffany?
I agree with
I
you.
gotta say it like
Like
that.
as soon as you said like disproportionate communities are affected, like by I'm sorry, my background is super loud. As soon as you said that low income people are affected, I immediately thought of Katrina because I recently watched that documentary,
Hmm.
and
Yes.
I watched both of them. There were two that came out at the same time, oddly, but I watched both of them, and like those people
Yeah.
couldn't leave, and then
Yep.
they didn't get the help they needed immediately because they didn't,
Mm-hmm.
in my mind, see them as worthy to be saved or to be moved, or they're like they can just
Yeah.
move. Why didn't they move? It's like they
Yeah.
can't leave. They don't. Where are they going?
Yeah.
Where do
Where are
you
they gonna
go?
go?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and that's very serious because, a lot of people watching things like Katrina, um, or Hurricane Maria will go, well, why
Mm-hmm.
don't they leave? The
Mm-hmm.
problem is, where are they going to go?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's literally no place to go
Yeah. Yeah.
in some people's lives.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
a
Not
lot
only no
of
place to
these
go, but no money to
shelters,
go
yeah,
there.
and
Right.
no money to get there. And some of
Right.
these shelters, even if you could get there, prioritize families. So if
Mm-hmm.
you are not
Yeah.
part of that priority,
Yeah.
what do you
Yeah.
do? You're
Then you.
stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
stay where you're at, hoping for the best because that's all you have.
Well, and
you know?
the
Yeah.
thing about it too is that it doesn't just affect like I don't know how to explain this, but like not just coastal communities because
Mhm.
environmental change can affect people. So like, so what if, so like Tiffany, you're in Las Vegas. So
Right.
what if it's a hotter summer? What about all the homeless people that are outside?
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
and how are
Yeah.
they gonna, as the world gets hotter, because that's happening too, like how
Yeah.
are we gonna manage that? And it's
Yeah.
not just gonna
Yeah.
affect, our power bills are higher because we got to run our AC longer. But
Right.
what about people that don't have that option and don't have
Right.
anywhere to go?
Yeah.
That's a real
And oh,
thing for real.
they have cooling centers. I mean, we have cooling centers here where people can go during the day, but that's
So
not a
what happens
shelter
at
and it's
night?
not open overnight. Right.
Right.
Mhm.
And then a lot of times they can't bring all of their belongings in. So if you're a
Or
person
their
who's
pets.
unhoused, right? Exactly. If you're an unhoused person,
Mhm.
you can't bring all your belongings. You can't bring your pets. You can't bring,
Yeah.
you just you don't. So your option is to just stay outside with your things. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
like
I mean, I
it's yeah, it's a real issue here, like for
I mean,
real.
Yeah.
I was unhoused when a long time ago when in my 20s, and I literally went from in the winter. I went from house to house, staying with friends. Like I can hang out here for like 3 hours until my mom
Right.
comes home, and like go to the next house, and you can be there for 4 hours. And I mean, and I wasn't able to sleep anywhere. I wasn't in the cold, so there was that. But it's like
Yeah.
it does. It affects poor
And that
people differently
happens
than
here in New
regular.
York,
Yep.
where
Oh
the
yeah.
Mhm.
temperature either rises so high or drops so low that there's alerts that they tell
Hmm.
people if you are unhoused, get somewhere. The problem is where?
Yeah.
These
Yeah.
places are
Where are you gonna
packed.
go?
There's not enough places. They don't know how to get to it. The paperwork for and I did care coordination, so I've dealt with the homeless shelter. The paperwork that sometimes is involved and the qualifications is involved for some of these shelters to take you in is astronomical. And it's not because they're funded by the government. Let's just say it. And the government is stingy. And if they don't keep track of all these things, they can lose these fundings, right?
Yeah.
So I understand that side of it, but at the same
Yeah.
time, you're unhoused, you're scared, you're desperate, you've got all these issues happening and all these things going on. The last thing you need or want is having to deal with all of that. And a lot of times they just ride the trains here in New York during the winter
Hmm.
or really hot summers because they're air
Yeah.
conditioned or they're heated depending on the weather. And that is
Hmm.
not something that we should
It's
have to
not
do.
sustainable. Yeah, it's not
No, it's not
sustainable. But
sustainable.
well,
No.
and even if you can get into a place, I know this is like off tangent, but like I was in a shelter and I ended up getting kicked out because I broke curfew because I was working two jobs and because I didn't get off work till 10 and I was working
Hmm.
fast food. So, if you're busy, you have to stay. And so then I broke curfew too
Yeah.
many times. I was home by 10:30 because even though I got off at 10, if you work a service job, you never leave right on time. You
No, you
leave
don't.
when
That's
they
right.
let you leave. And then I was like, well, now where am I going to go? Because you can't come back for 30 days. So it's like,
That's
okay,
right.
now what?
There are
And I
rules.
was working two
Hmm.
jobs trying to save money to get a place of my own. But now I'm
Hmm.
back to I don't have anywhere. So the money that I'd saved, now I got to pay for a hotel room. And it's
Yeah.
like, you can't get
It's a
ahead.
cycle. It's a
Yeah.
cycle that
Mhm.
doesn't allow you to
Yeah.
progress and to get
Nope.
out of your situation. And when
Yeah,
environmental disasters happen that
yeah.
come with
It
this
compounds
climate,
Hmm.
it compounds it. It makes it bigger. It makes it more dramatic. It makes it harder for people to move on. You know how many people um, are still not in a home in a house that suffered from Katrina? They're still struggling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's something people don't realize.
Or the
That
one
struggle
or the
is
one
still going
last fall
on.
too.
Yeah.
The
Yes.
one last fall that wiped out the Carolinas. Yeah, and like there's
Yeah.
still people that haven't recovered yet. It's just,
Yeah. Hmm.
but anyways.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Hurricane Maria ripped roads out, literally
Yep.
ripped roads to the point
Hmm.
where now you can't get the necessary,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. The
things to
eight, yeah.
people, the
Supplies, yeah.
emergency care, the aid. And the problem is that people don't realize, Puerto Rico is a tiny island, so there aren't tons of roads. You can't go,
Mm-hmm.
well, this road isn't good. Let me go this way. That doesn't always work in Puerto Rico. Sometimes there's one road. You go in
Yeah,
and out
that's
to
it.
these small little towns from one road. And if that one road has been destroyed by a natural disaster,
Yep.
helicopter
Yep.
dropping food from the sky is the only way to go.
Yeah,
And
and a lot
I
of
think that
times
what
they
she's
don't have
doing is
the, yeah,
amazing.
yeah, because then people can prepare and be better
Hmm.
informed and make better choices as communities
Absolutely.
too.
Yeah. I mean, this scientist Nicole Hernandez Hamer is she's amazing.
He's doing good work.
What she
That's
Yeah, she's
definitely
doing
needed.
great work. She is
Mhm.
doing beautiful work. And we can definitely be encouraged by her. And she's helping everyone. That's what I like about it. It's
Mhm.
inclusive to all communities of color, all low income families, because that's where the need lies. And that's beautiful.
Mhm.
You tell me, Sarah, if you're ready to go on to the next
I'm
one.
ready for the next one. Yep.
Oh, yes.
Okay. So this is Dr. Cristina Romero Castillo. Uh, Christina is an oceanographer and works at the Institute. I'm going to try this if I can't say it. I have the English version too, but it's Ciencias del Mar. It's the Institute of Marine Science in Barcelona. She has a degree in chemistry and a PhD in sea sciences, and her area of research is the oceanic carbon cycle. She is presently studying the impact of microplastics on marine systems and the carbon cycle, analyzing how bacteria can help to break down microplastics. Christina's work is paving the way for potential bioremediation solutions for our ocean trash problems. She is the author of, oh, I'm going to say the English version because I can't say the Spanish. Um, Anthropo Ocean, Looking After Seas to Save Lives, published in Spain in 2022, in which she describes the problems presently affecting oceans and the measures being taken to remedy them. A rising star in marine science, Dr. Cristina Romero Castillo is an international rising talent and has received several national and international prizes, notable among which are the L'Oreal UNESCO for Women in Science Award in 2019 for her work in the struggle against climate change and the defense of biodiversity, the Raymond L. Linderman Award of the Association for Sciences of Limnology and Oceanography in 2020, and then which is given for outstanding papers dealing with the aquatic sciences. The L'Oreal UNESCO International Rising Talent Award, which recognizes 15 women scientists among the 250 chosen for the Women in Science program, and that was in 2024. She also sits on the Spanish National Research Council. Her research on the degradation of marine plastics holds immense promise for tackling global plastic pollution. A continuous learner, Castillo enjoys programming and participating in okay, I can do this, oceanographic labs around the globe.
There you go.
There you go. You
Sorry.
got it. And
Yeah.
you got the school she went to, almost there, Ciencia del Mar. But you got it, girl. You
Okay.
got it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
But
Only when I
she's
get
so
frustrated does my
beautiful.
stutter come
Yeah,
out.
exactly. Her
But
work
she's
is
pretty cool.
phenomenal. I mean, to
Yeah, and
study the ocean, what a
and the
beautiful
plastic,
thing.
and so she's using bacteria to break down ocean plastics,
That's
like
great.
specifically designed bacteria that can target plastic and break it down. Because plastic doesn't break down for like
Right.
ever.
Right.
Um, so if she can design, a bacteria that specifically targets plastic and reduces it to something that's not harmful, that isn't hurting sea life and isn't poisoning the ocean, then that'll help with part of that problem. Yeah, you got something to say
Yeah,
about that?
absolutely, for sure. I mean, what she's doing is phenomenal. And honestly, it's kind of encouraged me to kind of look up her book and wanted to read it in the original Spanish.
Mm.
because this is beautiful work she's doing to protect our oceans is a big deal. Our
Mhm.
coral reefs are dying. Um they're creatures, they're living creatures. They're not just plant life, but they're living creatures that protect other fish in the sea, and they're dying, and because of the pollution that we humans have created. And for her to research this in such a beautiful way, it truly is magnificent, because our oceans could surely use a little help. Without our oceans, our planet would die. Our
Mm,
planet would just die.
yep.
Our planet is mostly water. It truly would.
Yes.
I can't
She's
remember which
phenomenal.
like movie I saw that they showed like the floating islands, the trash islands that are like in
Uh,
Yes.
the ocean. Which movie was that? Can't,
Waterworld,
maybe.
was it
I think
that they
so.
were
But
built,
yeah,
that they were
it,
floating cities
Yes.
right.
with
With the
all
trash,
the sea ice melted and the ocean water rose so high that there was no land. Yeah.
right.
This is
That
Yeah.
seems like a probable thing. I think about it all the time. Like whenever I see a video of like the ice sheets melting off and stuff into the ocean,
oh
I'm
yeah.
always like, one,
Yes.
what's in that ice? What's about to come this way? One, because I always think in
Yes.
a sci-fi mind, there's something in the ice. Okay,
Yeah, the prehistoric
Yes.
version. Yes.
Yes. Is there
something
an
in that
Packaging.
alien
ice.
in the ice?
Maybe
There's
a
an
Yeah.
transformer
alien
or
coming
something.
through.
I don't know. A transformer that's been
Ooh.
here since the ice age. We don't
Ah,
know.
yes.
Oh,
I love that
as long as it's
idea.
not the thing, I'm good.
Right.
Oh,
But
oh God.
so
Absolutely.
I always think something's gonna come out of that ice. But like the oceans are like so vast, like it's even more vast than like how much we can go to like space. Like they equate them together, traveling to the like low in the ocean and like oh, it is lightning here like crazy. Going into the ocean and exploring that is like they liken that to exploring space because we know nothing about the ocean. So her
No.
doing this like research about it, it's like it's interesting. Marine biology is like I can't even put my mind around it. She's like a genius,
Yes.
obviously, but she's
Mhm.
a genius,
And the thing
obviously.
is that she's using
Yeah.
microbes to break
Yes,
down plastic.
a genius.
Yep.
What?
Yes,
How
Yeah.
a genius.
creative is that?
Yeah. Can you find a bacteria that'll
How
eat plastic?
creative.
Okay, then we can introduce that safely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, I
That's
mean,
huge
because
to
then
me.
and then it's not more chemicals. It's a
Mhm.
natural way to deal with a chemical problem.
Yeah. And it saves on fossil fuel, because the only other option would be to send a boat and a cleaning crew.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So you're using fossil fuel, you're using
Mm-hmm.
resources to pay these individuals. You have to train them. You have to provide medical care. There's a lot that goes in cleaning our ocean that people don't realize. And I think
Yeah.
that her way would clean our ocean, and with the minimal amount of footprint left.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think that's the key, is the footprint we leave. And
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
she's
it needs to
doing
be
an
smaller
awesome
and
job.
smaller.
Yeah, that's right, a woman. Hello.
Yep.
That's what I gotta say here. That's
Sorry, I picked
right.
a theme tonight.
We on fire today. But if we are ready for Tiffany's presentation, we move on, or what do you guys want to do?
Yeah. I'm ready.
Okay.
Hey, come in. It's
Take
lightning.
it away, Tiff.
Okay, hope everybody's watched season 2 of Wednesday because I'm about to spoil a couple of things, just a few, not too many, not done too crazy. But I this season, first of all, when I first started watching season 2, I kind of got like I didn't want to finish it because they cut it in half, and so I stopped watching on episode 1 because I wanted to wait till they all came on there because I didn't want to be mad. So I watched it when they were all available to watch. Now,
Yeah.
let's start at the top with Miss Jenna Ortega. Now, I first met Jenna when watching Jane the Virgin. I don't know if you guys watched that show, but it was like a telenovela, like on the CW type thing.
Yes.
It was
Yes.
hilarious. Like she played
Super
young
funny.
Jane So that was when I first, was introduced to her as an actress, and then she went on to have like her own show on Disney Channel, and now she's like the Gen Z scream queen. Like she's in all the new Scream movies. She's been in a ton of other like horror films. I just watched the one the other day called Death of a Unicorn. It was so silly, y'all, but it was cute. It was a cute little comedy horror movie that she was in. She's a phenomenal actress. She changes in every
She
role
is.
pretty much. In this one, like being Wednesday, like the way she has to just hold her face like all the time, just like she can never show any like
That is
crazy like
hard.
smile or
That is
anything, right?
really hard.
Right. Even
I
when she's
can't
like
go
happy.
5 minutes without smiling.
Even when she's happy, she just like, yeah, whatever. And so
Whatever.
I liked this season when they did the body swap. I'm not gonna say who she swapped bodies with, but she did do a body swap. And so I like that Jenna got to be kind of like different than the Wednesday character, and that the person she swapped bodies with had to be Wednesday, so that showed their range too. It was crazy. But next up is Luis Guzman, who plays Gomez Adams. Uh
I love him.
Everything he's in, yes.
He's
And he's
funny.
hilarious.
He is the funniest actor
Yes,
out there. He
hilarious,
is,
hilarious.
and he could do serious. He could do
Yeah, yeah, he
any
can.
role,
He has
and he
3
is
SAG
playing this
awards.
role all out.
Yes, yes, he has 3 SAG awards. He's been in, comedies, dramas. He has a range. And first of all, he's 69. What? Where?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Look, hey, you know what they say.
It looks pretty
But
good.
yeah, yes, he does. Yes, he does. But yeah,
Mhm.
so I love him in this role. And like when you think about like Gomez Adams and Morticia Adams, how they're like, lovey dovey and all over each other, very, very much obsessed with each other. Him and Catherine Zeta
Mhm.
Jones, they bring that energy. Like he is like
They have the best chemistry.
and
The best
yes, I
chemistry.
love it. I love that this second season though, he really got like more screen time than he did in the first season because they end up staying at the academy. I'm not gonna say why. I don't want to spoil it for Sarah, but they end up staying there for the school year, and so so he does get more screen time, and I like that. Also about moving on to the next actor, Isaac. I don't want to mess up his last name. Oran Isaac.
Orandes.
Thank you. See, I couldn't roll my tongue right. Thank you. It's my Puerto Rican sister. Okay. So young Isaac is 16, and he also got more screen time this season. And so as Pugsley Adams, and he
He
played that role
blows
to a
my
T.
mind as Pugly.
You're
He's
right.
so good.
It's like funny, and then it's kind of like, dude, you weird, and like we love that about that character. Like Pugsley
Yes.
is like the weird one in the family, the one Wednesday was always using for experiments. He eats bugs and rats, and this season, like he finds something that he has as a pet. I'm not gonna spoil it, but it's like his
Oh
roommate.
yes.
Yes. It's like it's so him though to do that. Like that's just so like a Pugsley thing to do. And so I'm glad that he finally has come to the school, and he's able to have more parts this season than he did
Yes.
season 1. So I think he only was shown like twice season 1, just when Wednesday was at the school. Oh, it is raining.
Now you are a huge TV person, so you probably have seen the Addams Family through and through.
Right.
And how do you feel about this mostly Latino representation of this family? Because that's kind of new.
Yeah, it is. I like that they went that way though.
Within the lore.
Right. I like that they went that way though, and I do. Oh my goodness! Hold on, let me close my patio. It is coming down. So I love that they went that way because first of all using a Latino actress as Wednesday, that was already like like you said, new to the lore because before it was a Caucasian actress, and not to knock her performance because she
was good.
Two Wednesdays
She
that
was
I
good.
know, yes, the other 2 Wednesdays
They were
did their
good.
thing.
Yes.
Yes, in the Addams Family TV show, and then in the Addams Family Values movie, they did their thing. But like, I think that adding that like flavor to the family, it really not only did it up the like the spooky factor, because when they did like Dia de los Muertos, I pronounced it wrong. When they did the Day of the Dead,
Muertos.
like, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
When they did the Day of the Dead, it like they incorporated it into the show, and like that was
Yes.
something new that they could add in, like that was like a flair they could do
Mm-hmm.
because the family is Latino. So
So
Yes.
I have a
But
question.
I also like how they use Catherine Zeta-Jones
uh-huh,
as
yeah,
the actress and not a Latina because it's not a completely Latino
right,
family.
right,
I
right,
like the blend. I like the
right,
blend. I
right.
think it
Mhm.
She's a
worked.
perfect Morticia though. Like, I don't even see who they could have
Perfect.
put.
Yeah.
Nobody could have done
No
her.
notes, no notes,
Mm-mm.
no
Sarah, you
notes.
were gonna say, I'm sorry, I cut you off. My
No, it's
apologies.
okay. I was just wondering if that this is like, I don't know if this is just from my perspective, but like, do you think that the writers picked the like a Hispanic cast and Latino cast so that they can make it a Latino family because those families seem more tight knit than the nuclear family these days? Does that make sense?
Maybe.
Maybe. I mean,
And
I
then they
don't
have
know
that
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 they did it
dynamic.
intentionally or not. I
I
don't
know that
know if that was
they
their
can write
intention.
in that dynamic. I see what you're saying, Sarah. So there's a different kind of dynamic with certain cultures, and so this
Yes,
the dynamic
more
between
family
Wednesday,
oriented.
right? The dynamic between Wednesday and Morticia is different because of how mothers in that culture, even though Captain Zeta Jones is not Latino, but how her and Gomez are raising them, how mothers are in that culture. Like,
Yes.
it shows,
Yes.
like, how she wants to raise
Hmm.
her and things like that, and how
Yeah.
Gomez
Now,
even is
I would like to
encouraging.
see the Adams family with a black family. Who are they going to get to play what?
First of all, first
Ooh.
of all, one thing I will tell you is, I don't even know if they can make that believable, because some of the stuff the
Oh,
Adams family do is so it's so
it's not going to
magical.
happen.
They can't make it's not gonna be believable. I don't care how they not gonna be able to find a believable no, no,
Yeah.
no.
No,
They're
you
gonna
don't
be
think
like,
so?
because a lot of the things that Wednesday and the gang get into, like,
Yes.
we would have been like, maybe let's
Oh,
not,
no.
you know,
I'm going the other way.
Wait.
you know,
Yeah, we're going the other way.
don't count me in. I'll let them
Exactly.
know if y'all don't come back. I'll let them know if y'all don't return. I'm not doing the shenanigans. I'm not going to the insane asylum. Y'all got it. So
Yeah.
I think they went the right way with it. I love
I think
also
it
that
fits.
the
Absolutely.
Yeah.
character in this season, since talking about the season as a whole, I love also that Thing got like a storyline. That was like
Yes.
the best. Oh, Sarah, when you watch it,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
girl, he got a storyline, and I love that for him, because he's
that's
like an
true.
integral
I
part
do
of the
too. I do
family.
too.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. It was a good season for sure.
Historically, the lore has him as a very integral part of the family. It's always
Right,
been a part
right,
of the TV series, the
right.
original black and
Exactly.
white. He was part of it.
Hmm.
It was definitely a
Mhm.
part of it. So I really think that they giving him that storyline was appropriate.
Yeah, yeah. I
Mhm.
agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yep. Let me know when you
I
want to
agree.
move on to the next one and when
I'm
you're ready.
ready. I'm ready.
Ooh, let's talk about
Okay.
this beauty.
Okay, hold on. Let me pull up my notes. Sorry, gang.
So
Okay.
you
This is
were not, in
Sol
fact, ready.
Rodriguez. Huh?
For
I said you, in
reals.
fact, were not ready.
Oh, I'm ready. This is
Yeah.
Sol Rodriguez, and in Peacemaker. Sorry, I thought I was ready. In Peacemaker, she plays Sasha Bordeaux. Sasha Bordeaux is a cyborg. Sorry to spoil it for anybody who's not caught up on Peacemaker. It happens like 4 episodes in. They tell us that she's a cyborg. That she had a past injury that involved a plane crash, and Argus replaced half of her body with cybernetics. Okay. So underneath, see in that picture right there in the corner, you can see her eye. She has like
Yep, that's
special
that cybernetic
marksmanship.
eye.
Yeah, her cybernetics.
Hmm.
So I think like they introduced her, like people who are not familiar with her character from the comics, she's more of a Batman character, but I like to introduce her in here because it deepens the lore as far as how James Gunn is trying to put everything together. I don't want to get too nerdy with it, guys, but how you trying to put everything together, as far as the universe. I like to introduce her, and in the comics, she also is Latina. So I like that they kept her, kept her that way and brought in Soul. And I think that she's doing great in this role. My only critique would be they not putting her on screen enough. Cause she's like kicking butt. She's like got excellent marksmanship. Like they not giving us enough of her. And so I feel like the next show, if she's still around, I haven't watched the finale yet. That came on yesterday. But if she's still around, I need more. I need her to be in the Superman.
We need
movie.
more of her.
Yes,
Peacemaker writers. You heard it from the Sci-Fi Queens.
We need more. I want to know it all. I want to see her other cybernetics. I want to see what other kind of skills she has. I want to see it all. Because right now they kind of got her, kind of as a background character. But not a background character at the same time. She's like a B-list character in the show. But I want them to do more with her. This actress is phenomenal. If you want to go to the next slide, I'll talk about her other show she was in.
Oh, yes.
So she also was in Picard. And I think about Picard constantly just because, Star Trek. But I think that in this series, she played a doctor on a alternate Earth. I'm getting my Star Trek shows mixed up, so forgive me. But she played a doctor at one of the clinics they went to. Rios didn't want to go to a real hospital, and so they took him there, and she worked on him. She ended up helping Picard at one point when he was transitioning into his robot body. I can't really remember, okay? It was a lot going on that show. Look,
there was a lot going on.
Listen, that show had a lot going on. But I know, like, I loved her in that role because she had like a son and she was very motherly. And then she ends up being like his Rios's love interest, where he stays in the future with her because they're in the future. Yeah, where he ends up in the past. In the past?
Well, it's his future, her past.
Yes, they had to jump in the past to fix what the timeline.
Right, so exactly.
So they went in the past. She's in the past. And so I think it was like modern day today, what we are in now.
Oh yeah, like okay, yeah, like now. Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. It was. You're right about that. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's coming back to me now. But yes, I love when I saw that when I was looking up, because I know I was to do her from Peacemaker, and so when I was looking up the rest of her filmography, I was like, wait. You're right. She was in Picard. Like it kind of jogged my memory a little bit, but I wanted to go back and watch it, but I didn't didn't have time to go back and kind of rewatch the episodes. I haven't seen it in like 2 years. But yeah, I
just did a whole rewatch of it recently, so that's why it's all fresh in my brain.
Right. I'm like, was it the past, the future? Sarah's like, here's past, her future. I'm like, it was a lot going on that final season. Okay.
The timeline, it'll give you
timeline. It was very
time travel.
It was very Doctor Who. But
timely wobbly,
right?
Wibbly wobbly, yep. Wibbly wobbly, timey
wobbly, yeah.
But like to take it back to what we were
in this role.
Yeah, definitely. To take it back to what we were saying in the beginning, like how the Hispanics and Latinos can come in different shades. Like just think of like her, and then think of like a Coleman Domingo. Like that's like two very different like ends, or like a Pedro Pascal. Like that's two very different ends. I started to do Pedro Pascal, but
look at Gina Torres.
Gina Torres. Right. There's like
Gina Torres has spoken in interviews how when she started, she could not get roles as a Latina.
Yeah,
she could not get roles that were Latina because she didn't fit the image they had of a Latina. Mm-hmm. So she had to play African American females.
Yeah,
which I love she's like, it's not offshoot. She's like, it's not so far fetched, but I wanted to play a Latina.
So that's she is.
So, right. I am Black, but I am Latina. Right. They didn't understand that correlation. And she couldn't get roles like that. But you got to do the job you got to do, right, to pay that rent. So she did what she had to.
Yeah. In the 911 Lone Star series, though, she did get to, be an Afro Latina, and she did speak Spanish at some points. So I like that they let her be her authentic self in that show.
Exactly.
That's good.
There's no
Yeah,
reason why actors can't be authentic while playing a fictional character.
yeah,
There
yeah,
really isn't any reason for
yeah.
it.
But I think that's like
Well,
a
and I
You know,
think I, in recent years they're getting better about that. That they're actually having, like queer people play queer people, and deaf people play deaf people, and
yeah, yeah, yeah,
people of
yeah,
color play people of color
yeah,
instead
yeah,
of, like, oh,
yeah,
we're just gonna kind of get what we think it should be. And
yeah,
I'm hopeful for that because, like we've talked about with everything, representation matters.
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But there's also
But
like a
let's go back to West Side Story, the original.
hmm hmm
Maria was not played by a Latina.
right,
No,
It
white
was
woman.
played
right,
by a white woman who
right,
was told to get a tan.
right. But when they did the
Yeah,
remake,
you have
they did
Rita
it right.
Moreno that could have played the part.
Yeah, yeah.
Who was part of it? She could have played, but they did not think the audience would accept the kiss between her
hmm
and
hmm
the guy from the other side, the white guy. So
hmm
they brought in someone who wasn't
Yeah.
Latina to play that part. But so we have come a long way
hmm
from there.
Yeah.
And I think that we have to recognize the strides that have been made.
Yes,
Absolutely.
definitely. And also the work that still
Absolutely.
needs to be
Hmm.
done because, like, of course, like you said, I watch a
Yes.
lot of TV and there's still like a big, like, whitewashing of the
Yes.
Hispanic culture. Like, even, like I said, I watched Death of a Unicorn with Jenna Ortega
Hmm.
and Paul Rudd played her dad. So she was supposed to be playing like a white girl. And so,
Yeah.
like, it was kind of like, and then they showed like
Yeah.
the
But is
flashback of her mom,
she?
and her
Yeah.
mom was like black or mixed looking or something. She did not look Hispanic. And I was like,
It's like this isn't plausible.
this is not right. Like,
Yes.
there's still a
This is not how
whitewashing,
genes work.
definitely.
That
And even like in the
DNA does
Scream
not
movies,
produce this.
right? In the Scream movies, she also plays like a white passing woman. Like, there's like a whitewashing still of that identity
Yeah.
that these people have
Hmm.
that they can't actually bring to some roles because they're like, oh, we're not
Yeah.
actually looking for anybody to have that kind of, like,
Hmm.
presence. We don't need you to actually, you know, be
We
that.
want we
We need
want
you to be
you,
white.
but we don't want your culture.
Exactly.
We
Exactly.
Yes.
want your name.
Oh, oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we want your talent, but we want
Mm-hmm.
the stereotype. That's
Yes.
also something that happens.
Yes.
Yes.
And
That's
we want
good.
the trope. We want the
Mm.
fiery Latino. Well, no, we don't
Yes.
all
Like,
act that way.
for instance, Gloria on Modern Family, that like whole that whole thing that they
That
had
is
her
an
do.
exaggerated view, but that's a
It's like,
comedy. I think it's
but it was
meant to be
hilarious,
that
right?
way.
It was funny, but at certain points, like,
Yes.
it was funny to ha ha to me, but I don't know if it was funny ha ha to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, was
I thought it
it
was
like,
funny because I understood the purpose was to emphasize these
right,
things, right? Because
that she
even
was
the gay
Latina,
couple, they
right?
emphasize the
Yeah,
flair,
Like
right?
they
So
weren't
I
just gay, they were gay.
yay,
super
right,
gay.
right,
Exactly. So she's
pretty
not
much,
just Latina, she's super Latina,
yeah,
you know,
everything
and
she
even
does,
but even the white characters were exaggerated. So it was
yeah,
across the board that exaggeration, right?
yeah,
Because it's comedy.
right,
I think in those terms that it's okay. But when you're putting out something serious, like let's say Picard or Wednesday or something
right.
like that, that may not be the right path to take.
Right. I
It just
Right.
agree.
may
Yes,
not.
it was a comedy, but
Mhm.
just to add a little salt on it, it was a comedy
Mhm.
written by a white man. So
That's
Yeah.
true.
he wrote those lines for her and had her act that way. So it's like, yeah,
But
Ryan
in her
Murphy.
defense, she made some loot, so I'm proud of
Yeah,
my
she
sister.
did. She did. She did.
Yeah.
She did. Yeah, but nobody else could have
She
played
made
that
her
role but
loot.
her. Right.
Oh,
So yeah.
absolutely not.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Yeah,
it was
but
hilarious. That was like that's
you
one
see
one of my
a
favorite
lot of
comfort
these.
shows to
Yeah,
rewatch.
and that's something that I've been like I struggle with is the tropes and the
Yeah.
stereotypes that are emphasized. Like I see
Oh,
these
believe me,
videos
I know.
of these people with the t-shirts. Oh, I'm not afraid of anything. I'm married to a Puerto Rican. What does that
Right.
even mean? Like, no, we can be victims of crimes and of domestic violence, and we can be scared, and we can be just like everybody else. We're not scary people. So you're just emphasizing this trope that is so damaging and so negative, and
Yeah.
it doesn't help anybody. I always say stereotypes are bad even if they sound good. They're bad because when you
Mm-hmm.
don't meet that expectation, what do? That comes back to you emotionally. You're like,
Mm-hmm.
well, am I enough of a black woman or a Latina woman?
Right, right,
It
right,
really
right.
does do something to you.
Yeah,
And that's why those tropes really bother me, because
yeah.
that expectation gets heightened, and now everything
Mhm.
you do has to do with these things.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
never justifiable. It has to do with these tropes, and that's very damaging. So when I see characters being played like this beautiful actress has played this character on Picard, and like, this is beautiful. This is a smart, intelligent character,
Mm-hmm.
who's giving to the community, who's risking everything to help a community in need. That's
Yeah,
beautiful to me.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
I agree. I agree. There's
Yeah. So yeah,
there's
absolutely.
still so like there's been strides, like you said, like how I spoke about Coleman, how he is the first
Hmm.
Afro Latino to be nominated for an Academy Award for Best Actor. Like that's like a big thing. Like
Hmm.
Yeah.
to be a
Oh,
first,
that's
but to be a
huge.
first in this day and age is still cuckoo crazy to me. But
Yes. And he's
that's a big
fine too.
deal.
He needs to win.
That
Oh
man is
God, yeah.
married. That man is
Woo!
married, Nita. He is married.
He is happily married.
He
Oh,
is.
have you heard the story about how they met?
Uh-uh.
There's an
No,
interview that he
tell.
does. He was on the Graham Norton show, and he was talking about he was like leaving a CVS or something, just leaving a drugstore. He got cigarettes or something. I don't remember what it was, but he's leaving, and he walks past like this couple, and they're like arguing, and like he said, the man was just gorgeous, and like he turned around and looked back, and the guy looked back at him, and he's like, oh well, this isn't the time, whatever. So like he gives it a couple days and he's ignoring it and ignoring it. And then he's like, okay, well, they do that, the misconnections on Craigslist. So let me go, let me try. Let me just try. And when he goes to put the ad, that guy put an ad for him like 2 minutes before he got there to put his ad.
Oh.
And so then they started dating and they've been together all this time.
Wow.
It's
Oh,
like it was
the
like love at
love.
first sight. It's so sweet. It's like,
My goodness.
oh yeah, it gave me
I
chills
like
just
I would
thinking
Harry
love at
about it.
first sight
Coleman.
Coleman Domingo as well.
I
Yeah,
Yeah,
would love
very
at
well
first sight
dressed.
him. Yes.
yeah,
Yes. Gorgeous, gorgeous man.
Mm-mm-mm.
yeah.
You
Nita
can't blame
loves to
me
fall for a man that is
that I
taken
can
or
never have.
Unavailable.
gay or very gay.
Oh, very gay. Like
Not just
seriously,
regular gay,
people.
very gay. She
The
loves
super gay.
a
I love
man.
the super gay.
That's her type, okay? That is her type. Anybody
Yes,
else?
yes. I
Oh,
always thought I
yeah.
didn't have a type, but apparently I do.
You do.
Gay man. Unavailable gay man.
Unavailable gay men. Yes.
Unavailable super
Yes.
gay, you guys.
Yes.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta see myself.
You heard
I
it here
have been
first, people.
exposed. I have been exposed. I've been The queen, the battle queen has been exposed. But we are
It
going
ain't a
to move
secret.
forward. It ain't a
Okay.
secret anymore. But
Can
we're
we?
gonna move forward. Yes, please. We are going to talk about one of my favorite indie comic book authors, Edgardo Miranda Rodriguez. Say that multiple times. It's a mouthful.
Mm-hmm.
This man has created the most eloquent and beautiful comic. She is a New York City girl who's Puerto Rican, who goes back to the island. She is empowered with powers, and she is an environmentalist. She is a female Afro Latina Puerto Rican superhero. And she is beautiful. She is smart. She's cleaning the environment, protecting, and he's not just doing this. He's got another one called El Coqui. Oh. You gotta understand the coquin's about that big. He loud as can be. He about that big. Okay, tiny little thing. He's loud. And the beauty, what people don't understand about why we call him Coqui is because that's the sound he makes, right? And there is scientists believe that the first part of the word go is letting other cookies know you're in my territory. And the
Mm.
key is to let the girls know I'm here, come over. So it's a mating call. It is. It's a mating call and a warning at the same time. It is
Mm.
loud, it's beautiful, and they all do it at sundown and they hide during the day. He's taken the coqui and made him into a superhero. And the image that I wasn't even gonna get to get my comic in time and take a picture, so I apologize. But I feel like the image that was created for his comic is how we feel about him, about the Skokie.
Mm.
Because he's tiny, he's a little tiny frog, he's an amphibian, right? But in
Mhm.
the comic, he's got muscles and he's big, and because that's how we feel about him, right? That they're beautiful and big and powerful.
Mhm.
And he has taken Puerto Rican lore and Puerto Rican culture, and he
Mhm.
has made it into these comics that just draw you in. And they're Spanglish, and the conversations feel real. I feel like I've had these conversations with people and I've used this language with people.
Mhm.
And he writes those beautiful stories. And he really does know how to write a female character. And I think that that's really important, especially when you're a male writer, to be able to write a female character is very important. Um,
Mhm.
and I think that he does such an amazing job. I absolutely love Edgardo Miranda Rodriguez. He is so beloved that the museum in Puerto Rico, El Museo del Barrio, I think is called, it's in San Juan, has displayed the artwork of his comics.
Oh wow.
That's how huge, that is how huge people are
Wow.
embracing his comics. That is what he's doing for the culture, exposing the culture, the traditions, the language. And he's an indie comic. Okay. Do not underestimate the power of an indie comic author
Mhm.
or an indie author, because that impact is real. That impact is
Mhm.
real. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Um,
I agree.
and of yeah, and of course, Avina Thomas, John Avina, who was here in our last episode. Super, super excited to have met him and interview him and speak to him. Lucha Forever is one of my favorites indie comic book. It takes a lore of a wrestler turned superhero. He was down on his luck. He wanted to be from wrestler to actor, struggling, and you feel the struggle in the writing in this comic. Okay,
Mhm.
and he's empowered with these supernatural powers, and now he's like back and helping people. And there's alien races now being coming to his rescue to help him, to support him, and he's taken that, and that's that for lucha libre, especially in Mexican culture, is a huge thing. I grew up watching it all the time. And it is very much part of the law. It's not like regular wrestling. There's a whole persona that they take on, and there's mask, and there's this whole thing that they go through. And it's a really beautifully written, and I
Hmm.
absolutely love this author, and I love the books, the comics he does. He takes a lot of that Mexican lore and culture and Latino culture, and he brings it to life in comic books.
Mhm.
And we need to not underestimate a good comic book. Okay,
Yeah.
it really can be powerful. It can really send a
Yeah.
beautiful message. Um, and it's
Oh, I know.
really an amazing thing. Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
And I don't have another book, but I do want to give tribute and recommend a podcast. I've done this one before. It's called The Last Force, La Última Fragua. They talk about all things sci-fi, books, movies, and it is a Spanish YouTube podcast. But they do a really beautiful job, and I like to listen to them because most of my sci-fi has been in English, 99%. The first time I read a book in sci-fi in Spanish was for the book review that I did here, and I bought it thinking it was coming in English, and I read Spanish, not a problem. But when I opened the book, I said, wait a minute, what did I order? And there's a lot of sci-fi language that I didn't know, and I kind of had to learn reading this book. And I love watching this podcast because I learn to utilize that sci-fi language. And sci-fi has its own language and its own terminologies. And I love the fact that we can, I can learn from them, and I can listen to how they express and analyze these science fiction movies and books and break it down. They're really fun to watch, and I definitely encourage anyone who wants to watch a Spanish YouTuber, a Spanish podcast, La Última Fragua, The Last Voyage. That's the place to go for sci-fi in Spanish for sure. Absolutely. This has been so much fun. Absolutely so much fun. I've learning from both of you. Thank you so much. You guys have put so much effort into this, so much of yourselves into this, and it means the world to me. You are my sisters, and I absolutely just am so proud of the work you guys are doing for the podcast, for Sci-Fi Queens, and just bringing that representation is so important. And I think it's great. Before we tell the audience when our next episode is, if Sarah or Tiffany want to say a few last things, that'll be awesome.
Of course. Well, I'm glad I made the show today. I know I've been absent. I know I've been absent, guys. It's been a time. It's been a time.
Yep.
It's been a time. But I'm just happy I was able to come for our last day of Hispanic Heritage Month, because I had so many I wanted to highlight, but I'll get to them. Don't worry. There's so many I wanted to talk about, like even just from the Marvel universe. Like they have, like there's so many I wanted to do, but I did some that were close and near to me that I wanted to talk about. Of course, I wanted to keep it on the ladies, and I wanted to bring an element of TV, like I always do, something that people want to watch now, something that interests people and that gets your attention, and I know that it's hard when you're trying to like incorporate different cultures into things. It's hard to like sit down and like pay attention in this day and age, but I wanted to give something that was easy to pay attention to, easy to watch, something fun,
Yes, absolutely. Sarah, any
I
closing?
always enjoy researching these ladies because I always learn something new, and I find I'm a fan of learning, and if I don't know something, I'll look it up and I'll figure it out. So learning about all these women, especially with Hispanic heritage, I enjoy learning about them and sharing them because that brings them into the light. And there's, some, not just them specifically, but like some of the ones we didn't even know existed, and like the world barely knew that they existed. And I think that's important, just bringing them to the light.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, absolutely. And guys, they do I don't tell them what to bring in or who to speak on. We decide on a topic and they take it away. And they're doing a phenomenal job bringing in the information and sharing with you guys. Our next episode will be October 24th. We will be celebrating spooky season because it's here. It's upon us. And it's going to be October 24th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And we are going to review the sci-fi horror movie Pandorum. Pandorum. You can find it on Tubi. Nicole will be guest guest again reviewing this movie. It's going to be super fun. So get back to us on October 24th. Watch the movie. Let us know what you think about it. Thank you again, guys, for being here, for joining us. And we will see you soon. So good night and stay safe. Thank you for watching the Sci-Fi Queens. And be sure to support us on all our social medias. And check out our website